Thanks for tuning in. This is Rob Cass with Local Real Estate Deals Media. I just want to talk to you a little bit today about Assets and Liabilities 101. This is something that's near and dear to my heart. And the bottom line is I don't know why we don't teach this stuff in school. And by the way, I have made plenty of mistakes, so don't think that I'm an expert up here. I'm just going to lay down some really fundamental things that I think we should be teaching our kids. I will certainly be teaching my children as early as they can comprehend. And right now I can tell you my son is in 3rd grade. He understands what an asset and a liability is, so there will be no confusion later on down the road. So let's get down the road with this conversation. If you talk to a regular person, just a regular guy who punches a clock and just minds his own business, and you ask them what an asset or a liability is, they give you a definition, you get really weird answers, and it really doesn't need to be that difficult. And you don't need to be a banker or have a finance degree to understand what an asset or a liability is. It's very simple, and I've already told my son this, so I know a 3rd grader can get this, so I know you can get this. An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket, okay? And we're going to come back to some deeper discussions later, but an asset is anything that puts money into your pocket. All right? A liability, on the other hand, is anything that takes money out of your pocket. All right? So based on that very simple understanding, an asset takes money out of your pocket. I'm sorry, an asset puts money into your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. Very simply. Just use that understanding as we go through this little conversation. And again, I'm not an expert. This is common sense stuff here. So let's work with me on this. All right? Most people have a financial picture, most Americans anyways, have a financial picture that looks like this. We've got 2 columns. Okay? We've got that column, let's call that your assets column. And then we have this column. All right? Let's call that the liabilities column. Okay? So the problem with that is most people have one asset. Most Americans have one asset, and that's a problem. That asset is their job. Now there's some funny acronyms, I won't go into all those right now, but your job is your only asset. If you're a typical American, the only thing that brings money into your pocket is what you do when you go to work every day. I have a problem with that, but we'll keep going here. Now, here's the other fundamental problem with this picture. Assets do not equal liabilities. The liabilities, the amount of money going out every month, whether it's short-term, long-term, whatever, is greater than the amount of assets coming in, okay? So the problem right off the bat is people graduate from college. Just in the fact that they're graduated from college means they have a bigger liability than they do from their assets. Okay, now, let's talk about where some of the confusion comes into mind. If you're filling out your assets and liabilities from a bank perspective, the bank will convince you that your 1969 Mustang that's paid for is an asset. I would disagree, and here's why I disagree. Using our description or definition of what an asset is anything that puts money into your pocket. If that Mustang is not going to work every day and bringing you money in, it's a liability, okay? Even if it is completely paid for, because you still have to have insurance, you still have to have gas, you still have to do things to it, routine maintenance. I don't care how long, you may have to store it, you may have to do something, but bottom line is if it's not putting money into your pocket, don't be confused. I'm still not saying that that Mustang is a bad thing. In fact, I love Mustangs. Just don't be confused as to what it is, because that's how we get confused as to what our financial position is. People are holding on to liabilities, calling them assets. No wonder everybody's confused. And who's telling us this? Bankers are. So why wouldn't we be confused when the people who handle money are confused themselves? So let's get back to this. This is typical America, okay? And I love to be in front of a crowd of 100 people and say, what's your magic number? What number can you retire at? Because inevitably I hear these ridiculous answers like $10 million or $250,000. The answer is no. It has nothing to do with money. Retiring and being financially free has nothing to do with a dollar value. Because when most people increase their assets, they are also increasing their liabilities proportionately. That's why there's always something outside of their reach. So I want to propose something for you, just to think about. And I don't care what you do for a job. I don't care. It doesn't matter if you're a chicken farmer or a CEO of anything. These principles apply across the board. First thing we have to do is we have to get a grip on our assets and liabilities. Let's work on our liabilities first. We've got to get them under control. So the first thing I want you to start doing is working on reducing what your liabilities are. And this is for the path to financial leadership or financial independence, okay? So let's assume for the moment that we can't do much about our assets, that our job is the only thing we have, okay? And that's going to stay pretty steady for a while. Let's work on reducing our liabilities, first of all, okay? So a very, very good day, or a very first goal to shoot for, is to start the trend going in the other direction. And it may be that your assets are staying here, but your liabilities are now coming down. This is a good thing. That's a good milestone. When you can stop the tide of that forward momentum and start backing down on your liabilities, this is very good. But I want you to go all the way down to, because you're going to have to cut expenses, you're going to have to watch your power bill, you're going to have to do a lot of things. Stop eating out, right? The day that your liabilities match your assets is a great day. You've got stability now. You've got some kind of an equilibrium here. That is a great day. First of all, the first great day was the day that you started the trend down on your liabilities. But a day worth celebrating is the day that you reach that equilibrium. Because now you can start to do some funny things, okay?